Hi, I'm Maria, and I'm with Lulu, and this is Oz Costumes. Today I'm going to be reacting to all of Cloud's dresses from the Honeybee Inn scene in the Final Fantasy Remake. If you haven't played this game yet, I really recommend that you do, because I actually really quite enjoyed it. It's really good. I went into it with medium-ish expectations, not really knowing, like, it's just a remake, you know, that kind of mindset. And I ended up being pretty pleasantly surprised. Also, this whole Wall Market chapter is one of my favorite story arcs in the game. And we also acknowledge that we went from this to this. Like, talk about a major glow up. It's amazing. Before we get started into breaking down these dresses and their designs, I just want to say that whatever comes out of my mouth when I'm analyzing these dresses is just my opinion. So if I accidentally crap on your favorite dress, that just means you and I probably have different aesthetics, and that's okay. Let's jump into it. Make sure you watch to the end of the video if you want to hear some construction tips if you want to build any of these dresses. Now, as I break down these dresses, the biggest factor I will be keeping in mind is how well they fit into the context and purpose that they are given. That being catching the attention of the rather thirsty Don Corneo. For those of you who are unfamiliar with Final Fantasy VII's story, let me just briefly explain what's happening here. Cloud, Tifa, and Aerith are currently auditioning to get into Don Corneo's estate to become one of his brides. And the reason why they are doing that is because he has some information that sounds pretty concerning to him, so they are going to question him. And Cloud does not want Tifa and Aerith to go alone, so he does what any sane person does and cross-dresses to get in with them. And it makes for a pretty funny scene. Let's start with the first dress.
Honey, I'm in love. Yes, I will transform you into a vision of beauty.
Cloud's already a vision of beauty.
Let us begin.
And the stickers. Wow. Don't kill anybody with those. And there he is. Okay. He's so perplexed. That was a pretty solid start. I really love how the corset in this look emphasizes Cloud's feminine figure, and the sweetheart neckline also really makes us to believe that it's actually a feminine figure and not a masculine figure. So we have those nice curves going on already. I also love the angular lines in this look as well. It makes it look... We have a new visitor. As I was saying, so the bolero and the sweetheart neckline work together also to create this keyhole look, which I think that's very sexy. I also like how the sleeves of the bolero are sheer, so we still have skin showing. The sleeves really do a good job of making it look more mature, but also sexy at the same time. And they also do a good job of hiding Cloud's masculinity and his beefy arms. The tiered ruffle idea we have going on at the top of the skirt also provides a good texture and angular lines as well. It sort of echoes the angles that are going on up here in the bolero with the keyhole neckline. I also love how the ruffles in the back lengthen and elongate what's going on back there. It really complements the corset as well, and the back is just really lovely overall. The shoes are nothing to write home about. I mean, they're your standard ladies' boots, and you'd probably find them in my closet, but to suit Wall Market and the environment of Wall Market better, I would have made them flashier by putting jewels on them or something to suit our Dawn's tastes. I absolutely love the necklace Cloud is wearing here. The smooth lines really suit the dress's maturity. Overall, I think what would have really nailed this look, hypothetically, would have been a slit up the side of the skirt, but then again, maybe not. because then we would have to see Cloud's beefy leg. I mean, I probably wouldn't mind seeing Cloud's beefy leg, but the Dawn might, or would he? So thank you, skirt, for being just the way you are. Let's go to the second dress. Here we go again. Wonder how many accidents have happened with those stingers. And also, can we take a moment to appreciate how quickly this guy quick changes Cloud? Like, he needs to get on a wardrobe crew ASAP. Yeah, so this has a totally different vibe. And it's interesting like how much of a different feel it is. Now's our chance to see it move. Okay, so this is very different, and let's talk about why. Okay, so I like this dress. I think it's composed well, but there are a few things I would change about it in order to suit the situation better. I do like how the lines of the overdress come inward from the neck towards the waist and then out again as we move down. I really like that shape. And I do like the pin tucks on the bodice because who doesn't love pin tucks? The shorter length and the cute ruffles and the cute little tiny bows are definitely, they're definitely cute. They also make Cloud look a lot younger. I think it creates a very different but pretty disturbing image for that scene between Cloud and the Dawn later, if you know what I mean. I do like the shoes. You'd probably find them in my closet. Definitely cute, but in my opinion, almost too cute for what's going on here. It makes me kind of sad that there aren't any accessories for this look, any extra accessories I mean, because you get Andrea's earrings, but that's constant throughout all three looks. Having no accessories kind of lowers the class and it doesn't seem as expensive. This dress doesn't seem as expensive. Looking at the back of the dress, it sort of seals the deal that this gives me an overall maid or servant girl vibe. The tied bow sitting on the small of the back seems to be an apron, or seems to imply that there's an apron tied around front. I know that's not what's going on, that's just what it looks like to me. I think the main perpetrator for this seeming like a maid look is the color scheme. Instead of gray for the underdress in bows, personally I would have chosen a brighter color, like a lavender or a light blue or something pastel-like. I feel like it would really brighten the look and make it fit into this flashy, colorful world better. And considering how Walmart it is, I'm surprised that they chose a desaturated tone for this dress. I think also adding accessories like even a simple necklace would have really upscaled this look. That being said, I don't hate this dress, but I just don't think it suits the situation that we're in. Let's move on to the third dress. One more time, Cloud. One more time, you can do it. I think Aerith represents the fangirl that's in all of us. This is ridiculous. I'm surprised Aerith isn't laughing though. She seems like starstruck at this moment. Well, maybe, I mean, I would be starstruck too, but I would be laughing, rolling on the floor laughing at this. It even has a train. Oh my gosh, how do you move in that? That was something. Okay, this dress is just hilarious. I think this reminds us just how comical this whole moment is. Earlier we had this Project Diva moment where Cloud is dancing and he's so out of character because he's dancing, so we're already laughing. This dress definitely is reminiscent of a pre-bustle Victorian era with all that ruching and ruffles in capital letters. It's also absolutely massive and engulfs Cloud completely, which I think that just makes it even more funny. I think the mask also contributes to the overall luxury of the look, because especially for back then, more fabric equals more money, and then that means you have higher social status. And just in case if that didn't tip you off, there's that wonderful crown and that jeweled choker. And those are pretty obvious pointers to Cloud's newfound royal status of being a princess. And can we talk about those shoes for a moment? Like, get on my feet right now. I mean, it's the perfect fusion of period shoes and obnoxiousness. You would 100% find those in my closet. And speaking of obnoxiousness, that butt bow in the back, like, we didn't have enough mass already. We needed more. I do love me a good butt bow. Overall, as much as I love this look, I'm not sure I would consider it sexy by the Dawn standards. It does hide a lot of Cloud's feminine figure in its mass, even though we do obviously have a corset there with his thin waist. Also, the neck ruffle on the neckline covers up the chest, and so we have just like a bunch of like stuff to look at. But if Cloud were trying to capture my heart, this would be the way to go. So now that we've talked about all three dresses, I'm going to say which dress I think fits the story and context of catching Don Corneo's thirsty eyes the most. And that would be, drumroll please, the first dress. This is because I feel that the silhouette and overall aesthetic of this dress best emulates the maturity and sexiness that we're looking for and that Don Corneo thirsts for the most. As hilarious and fabulous as the third dress was, I think its mass kind of takes away from the feminine figure that we're trying to get and catch Don Corneo's attention with. It certainly has the potential to catch eyes though. It certainly caught mine. As for the second dress, sorry, you were too plain. Now, as promised, here's some tips for construction. To avoid making this video too long, I'm not gonna go too much into depth, but I'll give you a good starting point. For Cloud's first dress, definitely get yourself a nice corset pattern. I don't necessarily think you have to get a straight up period pattern. You can probably go into the catalogs at Joann's and look through and kind of see what corset patterns there are. I know for a fact there's some that are more costumey looking. And a good rule of thumb for corsets is make sure that the corset waist measures 4 inches shorter than how your waist measures. That way you can get optimal curviness when you lace up. Make sure you include coutil as part of the structure for your corset so it doesn't stretch. If you can't afford coutil because it can get pretty expensive, canvas will be fine. Steel bones will also give you a nice shape. Again, but if you can't afford steel bones, zip ties, the thick, long zip ties that you can get at Home Depot are a good option as well. For the shape of the skirt, you definitely will need a pretty full petticoat. I don't know, I don't think you need a hoop skirt. If you do, don't get a big one. Just something to give it a little oomph if you decide to have a hoop skirt. For Cloud's second dress, you definitely just need a simple petticoat. If I were making this for myself, I would probably build a corset to go underneath, and I would also probably flatline and bone the bodice as well. There's also definitely 2 major pieces to this dress, the overdress and the underdress. Finally, I would seize this opportunity to explore different fabric options as long as it makes things more interesting. Just make sure the drape isn't too stiff though, because the ruffles at the bottom do look like they have a little bit of flowiness to them. For the third dress, I definitely would go all out for the crinolines. Get yourself a corset, get yourself a big hoop skirt, get yourself a big petticoat. And this may be just the costume nerd in me speaking, but I would probably get a period Victorian corset or make yourself a period Victorian corset. And I would also maybe include bloomers, but that's totally optional. I mean, I just think it would be cute because, like, say you're running down a hall and you lift your skirt and you see little bloomers, that would be adorable. You also might want to consider boning the bodice as well to give it more structure. I would explore for the fashion fabric, or at least the purple part would be silk taffeta or something in that family of fabrics. The black of the underskirt and the bow looks like a type of brocade fabric, so really play with your textures there too. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, click the subscribe button and hit that notification bell. I'm trying to upload weekly or at the very least bi-weekly, so by subscribing, you'll be the first to know when a new video comes out. Like this video and leave a comment down below telling me what your favorite Cloud dress was and if you agree or disagree with me. Also, let me know if you liked this kind of video and if you want me to do this kind of thing for the other Wall Market dresses. And with that, I will see you in the next video. Lulu, you're gonna show your butt to the camera? Thank you.